Chapter 1. Devil in the Rain. Rain hammered against the windshield like bullets. Juliette Monroe gripped the steering wheel tighter, her knuckles white against the black leather. 7 years in the city had made her forget how brutal storms could be in this small town. The headlights cut through the darkness, revealing nothing but empty road ahead. She should have waited until morning to drive back, should have stayed in her motel room and faced her father's disappointed voice over the phone instead of rushing here like some guilty daughter. But here she was, driving through hell to get to the man who'd barely spoken to her since she left. Thunder cracked overhead. The radio crackled with static, then died completely. Perfect. Just her, the storm, and the ghosts of this place she'd tried so hard to forget. Her phone buzzed on the passenger seat. Another text from her assistant in Dallas. Judge Morrison moved the Henderson case to Friday. Need those files by tomorrow. Juliette didn't look at it. The outside world could wait. Her father's stroke couldn't. A flash of lightning lit up the road like daylight. In that split second, she saw him. A motorcycle swerved into her lane, the rider hunched low against the rain. Juliette yanked the wheel hard right, her Mercedes sliding on the wet asphalt. The car spun once, twice, before coming to a stop in the tall grass beside the road. Jesus Christ! She sat there shaking, heart hammering against her ribs. The motorcycle had stopped too. The rider was getting off, walking toward her car. Juliette fumbled for her phone, ready to call 911, but the figure was already at her window, knocking. She rolled it down just a crack. "Are you insane? You could have killed us both!" "You hurt?" The voice was rough, familiar, too familiar. Lightning flashed again, and she saw his face clearly for the first time in 7 years. Cole Maddox, the devil himself. Her breath caught. Those same dark eyes, that same crooked nose she'd traced with her fingers in secret, but older now, harder. A scar ran from her left temple to her jaw, and blood dripped from a cut on her lip. "Jules," his voice was barely a whisper. She stared at him through the rain-streaked window. 7 years of carefully built walls crumbled in an instant. Don't you dare call me that!" "You okay?" he asked again, ignoring her words. "I'm fine." Nothing about this was fine. "What the hell are you doing out here?" Cole glanced back at the road, then at her. His leather jacket was torn, and she could see fresh bruises on his throat. "Wrong place, wrong time. The story of my life." "You're bleeding." "I've been worse." That was Cole, never admitting weakness, never asking for help. It used to drive her crazy. Still did, apparently. "Get in the car," she heard herself say. "What?" "You heard me. Get in the car before you bleed to death on the side of the road." Cole hesitated. Water dripped from his dark hair onto his shoulders. "You sure about that? Last time we were alone in a car, things didn't end well." Heat flashed through her chest. That was different. Was it? She unlocked the doors. "Get in, Cole, before I change my mind." He walked around to the passenger side, his movements careful, pained. When he slid into the seat, the smell hit her immediately. Leather and rain and something darker underneath. Something that made her remember things she'd spent years trying to forget. "Where to?" she asked, not looking at him. "Anywhere but here." "That's not an answer." Cole was quiet for a long moment. Then, "The old church on Maple Street." "My father's church? Are you out of your mind?" "He won't be there this time of night, and it's—" He touched his ribs, wincing. "It's close." Juliette put the car in drive. The Mercedes pulled back onto the road with a soft purr, nothing like the angry roar of Cole's motorcycle. She could feel him watching her as she drove, studying her profile in the dashboard light. "You look good, Jules. Successful." "Don't!" "Like you belong in that fancy car, in those fancy clothes." "I said don't." "But you still drive too fast when you're angry." She pressed harder on the gas pedal. "I'm not angry." "No? Your jaw's doing that thing it always did when you wanted to hit something." She forced herself to relax. "I'm taking you to the church. That's it. Then I'm gone." "Back to the city? None of your business." "Still running then." The words hit like a slap. She pulled into the church parking lot and slammed the brakes. "Get out!" Cole didn't move. I didn't mean... "Get out of my car, Cole!" He opened the door, then stopped. "For what it's worth, I'm sorry about your dad. Heard he's been sick." "How did you—" She stopped herself. This town was too small for secrets. Everyone knew everything about everyone. Just go. But Cole was already looking at her like he could see through all her armor, straight to the 17-year-old girl who used to sneak out to meet him. "You're scared. Of you? Please. Of being back here? Of all of it?" She was. Terrified. But she'd rather die than admit it. "Goodbye, Cole." He got out, then leaned down to look at her through the open door. Rain continued to fall, making his dark hair stick to his forehead. "Jules." "What?" "Welcome home." He closed the door and walked away, disappearing into the shadows behind the church. Juliette sat there for a long moment, hands shaking on the steering wheel. 7 years. 7 years of building a new life, a new identity. 7 years of pretending Cole Maddox had never existed. And it had all fallen apart in the space of a heartbeat. She pulled out her phone to call her assistant, to lose herself in work, in the safe, predictable world she'd built, but her hands were shaking too hard to dial. Outside, thunder rolled across the sky like the sound of motorcycle engines. The devil was back in her life. And God help her, she'd let him in.
Chapter 2. Sins of the Past. Juliette couldn't sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Cole's face in the rain, heard his voice calling her Jules like no time had passed at all. She gave up trying at 3 a.m. and drove to the hospital instead. The night shift nurse recognized her immediately. "Juliette Monroe, my goodness, you look just like your mother did at your age." "How is he?" She didn't want to talk about her mother. Not now. "Stable. The stroke wasn't as bad as they first thought. He's been asking for you." Her father's room was dim, machines beeping softly in the corner. Pastor Richard Monroe lay small and pale against the white sheets, nothing like the towering figure who'd commanded his congregation every Sunday. "Juliette," his voice was weak but clear. "You came." "Of course I came." She sat in the chair beside his bed, not sure if she should take his hand. They'd never been the touching type. "How are you feeling?" "Like I've been hit by a truck." He managed a small smile. "But better now that you're here." They talked for an hour about safe things. Her law practice, the weather, his congregation. Neither of them mentioned the real reason she'd stayed away so long. When she finally left, the sun was coming up. She drove through the quiet streets, past the diner where she'd worked summers, past the high school where she'd been valedictorian, past all the places that held memories she'd tried to bury. She was so lost in thought that she almost missed him. Cole sat on the steps of the library, head in his hands. He looked up when her car pulled over, and she saw the exhaustion in his eyes. "What are you doing here?" she asked through the rolled-down window. "Waiting for it to open. Need to use their computer." "It's Sunday. It's closed." "Shit." He rubbed his face. "I forgot what day it was." Against her better judgment, she unlocked the passenger door. "Get in." "Jules! Just get in the damn car, Cole." He did, more slowly than last night. In the morning light, she could see the extent of his injuries. His lip was split, his left eye swollen nearly shut. Dark bruises covered his throat like fingerprints. "Jesus, what happened to you?" "You don't want to know." "Try me." Cole was quiet for a long moment. "You remember Tommy Riggs?" "Your cousin? The one who used to steal cars? He's dead. The words hit her like ice water. What? Shot 3 times in the chest. They found him in the river yesterday morning. Cole's voice was flat, emotionless. Cops think I did it. Did you? He looked at her then, and she saw something broken in his eyes. You have to ask? I don't know what I know anymore, she said honestly. 7 years is a long time. Not long enough to forget who I am. Who are you, Cole? Because the boy I knew... The boy you knew was a lie. You want the truth? Your daddy was right about me. I'm everything he said I was and worse. Stop! I'm a criminal, Jules. I steal things, I hurt people, I run with a motorcycle club that would make your worst nightmares look like bedtime stories. Stop! You want to know why I was bleeding last night? Because Tommy's crew thinks I killed him for his cut. They jumped me outside Murphy's bar 5 against 1, and you know what? I put 3 of them in the hospital. She pulled over and turned to face him. Are you done? No, I'm not done. I need you to understand. I understand that you're trying to scare me away, just like you did 7 years ago. That was different. Was it? Because I remember a scared boy who thought he wasn't good enough for the preacher's daughter. I remember you pushing me away because you thought you were protecting me. I was protecting you. From what? From loving you? The question hung in the air between them. Cole's hands were clenched into fists on his knees. You don't know what you're talking about, he said finally. Don't I? I remember everything, Cole. Every stolen moment, every secret kiss. The old barn behind the Henderson place. Cole's hands tangled in her hair as he pressed her against the wooden wall. Your daddy's going to kill us both if he finds out, he whispered against her lips. Let him, she'd whispered back. I remember sneaking out of my bedroom window to meet you. I remember the way you looked at me like I was the only thing that mattered in the world. Sunday morning, before church, she dropped her hymnal, and when Cole picked it up, their fingers had touched, just for a second. But she'd felt it all through the service, that electric connection, while her father preached about temptation and sin. I remember the night you asked me to run away with you. Cole's whole body went rigid. Jules, don't. I had it all planned out. We'd take your bike and just go. California, maybe, or Florida. Somewhere no one knew us. Somewhere we could be together without hiding. The old oak tree by the river. Cole's arms around her, both of them shaking with want and fear. I love you, he said. I love you so much, it's killing me. And she believed him. God help her, she believed every word. I was 17 and stupid and so in love with you I couldn't see straight. And you know what? You were right. We should have run. No. Cole's voice was rough. No, we shouldn't have. Look at you now. Look at what you become. You're a lawyer, Jules. You help people. You matter. And what are you? I'm nobody. I'm nothing. I'm exactly what your father always said I was. She reached out and touched his face, her fingers tracing the scar on his jaw. He flinched but didn't pull away. You're wrong, she said softly. You're the boy who taught me what love felt like. You're the boy who made me feel brave enough to dream of something bigger than this town. I'm not that boy anymore. Neither am I that girl. But here we are. Cole caught her hand, his fingers warm against hers. For a moment, they just looked at each other, and she could see the 17-year-old boy hiding behind the man's bruised face. You don't want my truth, Jules. It'll ruin the only good pieces left in you. What if I want to be ruined? He pulled her hand away and turned to stare out the window. Then you're not the smart girl I remember. The words stung, but she didn't let go. Try me, Cole. Tell me what really happened to Tommy. I can't. Can't or won't? Both. She started the car. "Where do you need to go?" "Jules." "Where?" He gave her an address on the other side of town. They drove in silence, the air thick with everything they weren't saying. When she pulled up to the rundown motel, Cole opened the door but didn't get out. "Why did you really come back?" he asked. "My father." "The truth." She gripped the steering wheel. "I don't know. Maybe because I never really left." Nodded, like he understood. "Be careful, Jules. This town's got longer teeth than it used to." "What does that mean?" But he was already walking away, and she was left with more questions than answers. As she drove home, she caught herself checking the rearview mirror, looking for shadows that might be following her. For the first time since she'd left, she wondered if coming back had been a mistake.
Chapter 3. Blood on his hands. Juliette spent the rest of Sunday trying to focus on her father's recovery and her work emails. She failed at both. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Cole's face, the way he'd looked at her when she touched his scar, the pain in his voice when he'd said he was nothing. By Monday morning, she'd convinced herself to stay out of it. Cole's problems weren't her problems. She had her own life to worry about. Then she saw the news. "Local man found dead in apparent gang killing," the headline read. Tommy Riggs's photos stared back at her from the newspaper, young and smiling and very much alive. The article mentioned Cole by name as a person of interest. She was still staring at the paper when her phone rang. "Jules." Cole's voice was tight, urgent. "I need to see you." "I saw the news. Cole, if you're innocent—" "Meet me at the old water tower, now." "I can't get involved in this." "They're coming for me, Jules. The Scorpions, Tommy's crew. They don't care about innocent until proven guilty." "Then turn yourself in. Let the police—" "The police?" Cole laughed, but there was no humor in it. "Half the force is on their payroll. You think they're gonna protect me?"
"I think you should trust the system."
"The system." His voice turned cold. "The system that let your brother walk away from that hit and run when we were kids? The system that buried the report when he—" "Don't!" Her blood went cold. "Don't you dare bring Marcus into this." "Marcus is already in this. He's been in it since the beginning." The line went dead. Juliette stared at the phone, her hands shaking. Marcus, her brother, who died in a car accident 2 years ago. Her brother who'd been the Dolden boy, the one who was supposed to take over their father's church someday. What did he have to do with any of this? She told herself not to go, told herself Cole was just trying to manipulate her, to drag her into his mess. But an hour later, she was driving toward the water tower, her heart pounding with every mile. The old water tower sat on a hill overlooking the town, covered in rust and graffiti. She'd been here before, with Cole, when they were teenagers. It had been their place, where they talked about the future and made promises they couldn't keep. Cole's motorcycle was already there, hidden behind a cluster of trees. She found him sitting on a fallen log, cleaning a gun. "Jesus, Cole, put that away." "Can't do that anymore." He didn't look up. "Not anymore." "What happened to Tommy?" "Someone put 3 bullets in his chest and dumped him in the river. Someone who wanted it to look like club business." "And you think it wasn't?" "I know it wasn't. Tommy was about to get out. He had a girl, a kid on the way. He was done with the life." "Then who killed him?" Cole finally looked at her. "That's what I'm trying to figure out. But whoever it was, they're using me as a scapegoat." "Why you?" "Because I'm convenient. Because I've got a record. Because—" He stopped, jaw tightening. "Because I know things. Things that could hurt important people." "What things?" "The less you know, the safer you are." "Stop protecting me, Cole. I'm not 17 anymore." "No, but you're still naive. You still think everyone's got good in them, that the system works if you just follow the rules. And you still think you're the only one who can handle the truth." They stared at each other across the clearing. The sun was setting, painting the sky blood red. "I should go," she said finally. "Yeah, you should." But neither of them moved. The silence stretched between them, heavy with everything they weren't saying. "I missed you," Cole said suddenly. "Every day, for 7 years, I missed you." "Cole, I know I don't have the right. I know I'm poison, but I needed you to know." Before she could respond, the sound of motorcycles echoed across the valley. Cole was on his feet instantly, gun in hand. "Shit, they found me." "Who?" "The Scorpions. Get back to your car, now." "I'm not leaving you." "Jules, I'm not asking." But it was too late. 3 motorcycles roared up the hill, their riders wearing leather vests with scorpion patches. They spread out, surrounding them. "Well, well, Devil Maddox." The leader pulled off his helmet, revealing a scarred face and cold eyes. "Been looking for you." "Viper." Cole's voice was steady, but she could see the tension in his shoulders. "This is between us. Let the girl go." "The girl?" Viper's eyes landed on Juliette. "This the preacher's daughter you used to sniff around? Pretty thing." "Leave her out of this." "Can't do that, Devil." "See, word is you got help hiding out. Word is someone's been giving you information. Someone with connections." "I work alone." "Do you?" "Because someone torched Tommy's apartment after the cops searched it. Someone who knew what to look for. Someone who had access." Juliette's blood ran cold. "I don't know what you're talking about." "No? Then why are you here, princess? Why are you meeting with a killer in the middle of nowhere?" "He's not a killer." "Defending him? That's sweet. Really sweet." Viper smiled, and it was like looking at a snake. "But maybe you need to learn what happens to people who help cop killers. Tommy wasn't a cop. But he was talking to one, about to make a deal, about to give up names. Your name, Devil, among others." The pieces clicked into place. Tommy wasn't just getting out of the life. He was going to testify. He was going to bring down the whole operation. "You killed him." "Do you?" "Because someone torched Tommy's apartment after the cops searched it. Someone who knew what to look for. Someone who had access." Juliette's blood ran cold. "I don't know what you're talking about." "No? Then why are you here, princess? Why are you meeting with a killer in the middle of nowhere?" "He's not a killer." "Defending him? That's sweet. Really sweet." Viper smiled, and it was like looking at a snake. "But maybe you need to learn what happens to people who help cop killers. Tommy wasn't a cop. But he was talking to one, about to make a deal, about to give up names. Your name, Devil, among others." The pieces clicked into place. Tommy wasn't just getting out of the life. He was going to testify. He was going to bring down the whole operation. "You killed him." "Prove it." "You'll what? Call the cops?" "Go ahead, princess. See how far that gets you." Viper nodded to his men. They moved forward, surrounding her car. "What are you doing?" "Teaching you a lesson about minding your own business." One of them pulled out a gas can. Another had a lighter. "No! No, you can't!" The Mercedes went up in flames with a whoosh that made her ears ring. She watched her escape burn, feeling sick. "Now you're in it, princess. Now you're part of the story." Cole stepped in front of her, gun raised. "Back off, Viper." "Or what? You'll shoot us all? In front of a witness?" "I have to." That's the Devil we know. Always ready to do what needs doing. But here's the thing. You can't protect her forever, and we'll be watching, both of you. The Scorpions mounted their bikes and rode off into the darkness, leaving behind the smell of smoke and the sound of her car burning. She sank to her knees, staring at the flames. Her car, her escape, her connection to her real life, gone. "Jules," Cole's hand touched her shoulder. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." My car burned. I know. I can't get home. I can't. You can hate me all you want, but I'm the only one who can keep you alive now. She looked up at him through the smoke and firelight. What are you saying? I'm saying you're with me now, whether you like it or not. I won't run. I won't hide. You will if you want to live. Cole went to his motorcycle and pulled out a black duffel bag. He unzipped it, revealing clothes, money, and something else. A leather vest. A cut, they called it. Black leather with patches and pins, the kind bikers wore to show their allegiance. But this one was different. This one had blood on it. Dark stains across the chest. Older stains, she realized, not from last night. And there, embroidered on the front pocket, she saw 2 letters that made her world stop spinning. M.M. Cole. Her voice was barely a whisper. Why do you have my brother's cut?
Chapter 4. Beneath the Leather. Answer me. Juliette's voice was steady, but her hands were shaking. Why do you have my brother's cut? Cole stared at the leather vest in his hands, blood and memories staining the black fabric. Jules. Don't you dare lie to me. Not about this. It's complicated. Complicated? She stood up, fury replacing shock. My brother died in a car accident 2 years ago. He was a good man. He was going to be a minister like my father. He had nothing to do with your world. He had everything to do with my world. The words hit her like a physical blow. What? Cole carefully folded the vest and put it back in the bag. Marcus was part of my crew for 3 years, from the time he turned 18 until he died. That's impossible. He was good at hiding it, good at playing the part. Your father never knew. You never knew. You're lying. Am I? Think about it, Jules. All those times he came home late, said he was at Bible study. All those unexplained bruises he said came from basketball. All that money he suddenly had, senior year. She wanted to deny it, but the memories were flooding back. Marcus buying her expensive gifts he couldn't afford, the way he'd flinch when their father raised his voice, the phone calls he'd take in secret, going outside to talk. He was my brother. He was also my best friend, my second in command, and he was in the car with Tommy the night everything went wrong. What night? What are you talking about? Cole sat down heavily on the log, suddenly looking older than his 25 years. 2 years ago, there was a job, a simple pickup. Marcus was driving, Tommy was riding shotgun. They hit a roadblock. The accident! Her voice was barely a whisper. It wasn't an accident, Jules. It was a setup. Someone tipped off the cops. Someone wanted Marcus dead. Why? Because he was asking questions. About money that went missing. About jobs that went bad. About why certain people in town seemed to know our business before we did. The pieces were falling into place, creating a picture she didn't want to see. You think someone in town was working with the police? I think someone in town was working with someone else. Someone who wanted the club divided. Someone who wanted us at each other's throats. And you think that same someone killed Tommy? I know they did. Tommy figured it out. He was going to expose them. That's why he had to die. Juliette walked to the edge of the clearing, looking out over the town lights below. Her town. Her father's town. The place where she'd been raised to believe in good and evil, right and wrong. The blood on the vest, is it his? Yeah. From the crash? Cole was quiet for a long moment. From before the crash. We tried to get him out, but the car was totaled. He was dying, Jules. He knew it. And he asked me to promise him something. What? That I'd keep you safe. That I'd never let this world touch you. And you've done such a good job of that. I tried. I stayed away. I let you hate me. I let you think I was just some worthless biker who wasn't good enough for you. But you weren't. You were my brother's best friend. You were the one person who knew the truth about him. I was the one who got him killed." The words hung in the air between them. Cole's shoulders were shaking, and she realized he was crying. Not the violent sobs of a man breaking down, but the quiet tears of someone who'd been carrying too much weight for too long. "Cole!" "I recruited him. I brought him into the life. I put that vest on his shoulders. Your brother died because of me, because I couldn't protect him. You couldn't have known." "I should have known. I should have seen it coming. I should have—" "Stop!" She moved toward him, drawn by his pain despite everything. "Just stop." "I can't. I can't stop thinking about it, about him, about what I took from you." "What you took from me?" "Your brother, your family, your chance at a normal life." "My chance at a normal life ended the day I fell in love with you." The confession slipped out before she could stop it. Cole's head snapped up, his eyes searching her face. "Jules, I never stopped. 7 years, and I never stopped loving you, not even when I hated you." "You shouldn't. I'm poison. You're the only person who knew my brother the way I did, the only person who understood what he was really like. He was good, better than me, better than the life I gave him. He was complicated. He was struggling. He was trying to figure out who he was." She sat down beside him on the log. "Just like you. Just like me. You're nothing like me." "No, I'm a lawyer who helped criminals get off on technicalities. I'm a woman who ran away from everything she loved because she was too scared to fight for it. I'm a daughter who blamed her father for losing you instead of blaming herself." Cole's hand found hers. "You didn't lose me. I let you go." "Same thing." "No, it's not. Losing something means it was taken from you. Letting go means you choose to walk away." "And which one was it?" "Both. Neither. I don't know anymore." They sat in silence, watching the flames of her car die down to embers. The night air was cool, but Cole's hand was warm in hers. "I missed him," she said finally. "Every day I missed him." "Me too." "Tell me about him, about the person he was with you." "He was fearless, reckless. He'd take any dare, fight any fight. But he was also careful, smart. He never forgot where he came from." "He talked about me?" "All the time. He was so proud of you, said you were going to change the world." "I defend rich people's bad decisions, not exactly changing the world." "You're here. You came back when your father needed you. You stayed when things got dangerous." He squeezed her hand. "Marcus would be proud." "Would he, or would he be disappointed that I'm here with you instead of running like a smart person?" "He'd understand. He always said you were too stubborn for your own good." "And what did you say?" "I said that's what I loved about you." The words created a charge in the air between them. Juliette became aware of how close they were sitting, how his thumb was stroking across her knuckles. "Cole!" "I know. I know we can't. I know it's wrong." "Is it? After everything we've lost, everything we've been through, is it wrong to want something real?" "I'm not real. I'm a ghost. She silenced him with a kiss. It was supposed to be gentle, supposed to be comfort, but the moment their lips touched, 7 years of longing exploded between them. Cole's hands tangled in her hair, pulling her closer. She could taste the salt of his tears, the desperation in his kiss. Her hands fisted in his leather jacket, pulling him against her. This was what she'd been running from, this fire that consumed everything in its path, this need that made her forget who she was supposed to be. Cole's mouth moved to her throat, and she gasped. "We shouldn't—" "I know. This is crazy." "I know." But his hands were already sliding under her shirt, finding the bare skin of her waist. She arched against him, every nerve ending alive with want. "Cole!" Her name was a prayer on his lips. "God, I've missed you. I'm here! I'm here!" His hands moved higher, and she let him, lost in the feeling of being wanted, of being needed, of being alive. A branch snapped somewhere in the darkness. They broke apart, both breathing hard. Cole's gun was in his hand before she could blink. What was that? Could be nothing. Could be them. He stood up, scanning the tree line. We need to go. Where? Somewhere safe. Somewhere they can't find us. There is nowhere safe anymore. Cole turned to look at her, and she saw the truth in his eyes. No, there isn't. He held out his hand. Come with me anyway? She looked at his outstretched hand, at the man who'd been her first love, her brother's best friend, her father's worst nightmare, at the man who might be the only one who could keep her alive. This is insane! Probably. She took his hand. Where are we going? I know a place. It's not much, but it's hidden. We can figure out our next move. Our next move? We're going to find out who killed Tommy, who killed Marcus, who's been pulling the strings. And then, Cole's smile was sharp as a blade, then we're going to make them pay. They walked toward his motorcycle, her hand still in his. Behind them, the embers of her car glowed like dying stars. She was choosing this, choosing him, choosing the danger and the darkness and the unknown. She was choosing to stop running. For the first time in 7 years, she felt truly alive.
Chapter 5. Ride or Die. Cole's hideout was an abandoned cabin deep in the woods, the kind of place hunters used during deer season and forgot about the rest of the year. No electricity, no running water, no connection to the outside world. "Cozy," Juliette said, looking around at the dusty furniture and cobwebs. "It's safe. No one knows about it but me." "And how long are we supposed to stay here?" "As long as it takes." She sat down on the moth-eaten couch, exhaustion finally catching up with her. It had been less than 24 hours since she'd nearly hit him on the road, but it felt like a lifetime. "I need to make some calls," she said. "Jules, you can't. If they're monitoring, I know people, legal people, people who can help us figure out what really happened to Tommy." Cole shook his head. "You don't understand. These aren't the kind of people who care about evidence or due process. They shoot first and ask questions later." "Then we need to be smarter than them. We need to run, get as far away from here as possible." "And then what? Spend the rest of our lives looking over our shoulders? Let whoever killed Marcus get away with it?" Cole stopped pacing and looked at her. "You really want to do this? Get involved in something that could get you killed?" "I'm already involved. The moment they burned my car, I was in it." "This isn't some legal case you can win with the right argument, Jules. This is blood and bullets, and it's my brother. Someone killed Marcus. Someone killed Tommy. Someone's been playing games with people's lives, and I'm done running from it." Cole studied her face for a long moment. "What did you have in mind?" "I know a private investigator in Dallas. Used to be a cop before he went private. He owes me a favor." "What kind of favor?" "The kind that keeps his son out of prison for armed robbery." Cole's eyebrows rose. "Remind me never to get on your bad side." Too late. She pulled out her phone, then stopped. "You're right about them monitoring. I need to be careful." "There's a payphone about 5 miles from here, at the old gas station." "Perfect." They rode to the gas station in silence, her arms wrapped around Cole's waist as the motorcycle ate up the miles. She'd forgotten how it felt to be on the back of his bike, the wind in her hair, the vibration of the engine beneath them. Dangerous. Free. Alive. The payphone was ancient, covered in graffiti and rust. It took her 3 tries to get a dial tone. "Martinez investigation. It's Tony. It's Juliette Monroe." A pause. "Well, I'll be damned. The Ice Queen herself. What do you need, counselor?" "Information. About a murder case. Small-town cops, possible corruption." "This about that biker who got himself killed? Tommy Riggs?" "You know about it?" "Word travels fast in my line of work, especially when there's money involved."
What kind of money? The kind that makes evidence disappear, the kind that makes witnesses forget what they saw. Juliette's blood ran cold. Who's paying? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But I can tell you this much. Whoever it is, they've got deep pockets and deeper connections. Can you find out? Give me 6 hours. I'll call you back. I don't have 6 hours. Then make time. This goes deep, Jules, deeper than you know. The line went dead. Juliette hung up and walked back to Cole. What did he say? Someone with money and connections is making evidence disappear. He needs 6 hours to find out who. We don't have 6 hours. Then we make our own leads. They rode back to the cabin, both lost in thought. Inside, Cole built a fire while Juliette tried to piece together what she knew. Tell me about the jobs, she said finally. What jobs? The ones that paid well? The ones that weren't just theft? Cole poked at the fire, sparks flying up the chimney. Sometimes we'd get requests, special requests, cleanup jobs. What kind of cleanup? Make problems disappear, witnesses who saw too much, evidence that pointed in the wrong direction. Who made these requests? They came through intermediaries. We never knew who the real clients were. But someone did. Someone was coordinating it all. Yeah, someone with connections to law enforcement, to the courts, to people who mattered. Someone who knew the system. Someone who knew how to work the system. The phone rang again, Cole's cell phone this time. Yeah? He listened for a moment, his face growing pale. When? Are you sure? He hung up and looked at her. That was my contact in the sheriff's department. Tony Martinez was found dead in his car an hour ago. Single gunshot to the head. They killed him. They killed him because he was getting too close. Which means we're next. Not if we disappear first. I'm not running anymore. I'm tired of running. Jules, this isn't a game. These people kill anyone who gets in their way. Then we better make sure we get them first. Cole stared at her. You're serious. Dead serious. My brother is dead. My friend is dead. Someone's been using my father's church to launder money from murders and theft. I'm done being a victim. What do you want to do? I want to find out who's behind this. I want to gather evidence. I want to make them pay. And if we die trying, then we die trying, but we don't die running. Cole was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded. Okay, but we do this my way. No more phone calls, no more contacts, just us. Just us. And if things go bad, they won't. If they do, you run. You don't look back. You don't try to save me. Cole, promise me. She looked into his eyes and saw her own determination reflected back. I promise. Good. Now let's figure out how to catch a killer. They spent the next hour planning. Cole knew the town's underworld better than anyone. He knew which cops could be bought, which businesses were fronts, which people had secrets worth killing for. We need to get closer to the church, he said. The money trail starts there. My father is in the hospital. The church is probably empty. Not empty, watched. They'll be waiting for us to come back. Then we don't go back as us. What do you mean? I mean we go back as people they won't suspect. A young couple looking for a place to get married. A journalist writing a story about small-town churches. A funeral director looking for business. She looked at him. What? Viper mentioned something yesterday about a funeral director who's been helping them dispose of bodies. Someone who's been making inconvenient corpses disappear. Someone with connections to the church. Someone who would have access to the financial records. Someone who would know about the anonymous donations. They stared at each other as the pieces fell into place. We need to get to town, she said. Not we, me. You stay here. Like hell. Jules, this is dangerous. If I'm wrong, if you're wrong, you'll need backup. If you're right, you'll need a witness. I need you to be safe. I need you to be alive. We go together or not at all. Cole sighed. You're as stubborn as your brother. I'll take that as a compliment. It wasn't meant as one. They packed light and left the cabin as the sun was setting. The ride to town took an hour, Cole taking back roads and avoiding the main highway. Where are we going?
Motel on the outskirts, the kind of place that doesn't ask questions. And then we figure out how to get close to the funeral director without getting ourselves killed. The Desert Rose Motel was exactly what she'd expected. Peeling paint, broken neon sign, rooms that rented by the hour. The kind of place where people came to disappear. "Stay here," Cole said as he parked the bike. "I'll get us a room." "Together? Unless you want to explain to the clerk why a lawyer and a biker need separate rooms." "Good point." Cole went inside while she waited by the bike. The parking lot was almost empty, just a few cars and a truck with out-of-state plates. She was so focused on watching for trouble that she didn't notice the small camera mounted on the light pole above her head, didn't see the red light blinking as it recorded her face. Cole came back with a key. Room 12, around the back. Perfect. They walked to the room, Cole carrying his duffel bag. The room was as bad as she'd expected. Stained carpet, broken air conditioner, a bed that sagged in the middle. "Home sweet home," he said. "It's perfect." "You're lying." "I'm alive." "You're alive." "It's perfect." Cole set down his duffel bag and moved to the window, checking the parking lot. "We should rest. Tomorrow's going to be a long day." "Cole?" "Yeah?" "Whatever happens tomorrow, I want you to know that—" Don't say goodbye. We're not done yet." "I know. I just want you to know that I'm glad I came back. I'm glad I found you again." "Even though I've dragged you into this mess?" "Especially because of that." He turned from the window and looked at her. "Jules?" "Yeah?" "I love you. I never stopped loving you." "I love you too." They stood there looking at each other across the shabby motel room, two people who'd found each other again in the middle of hell. "Get some rest," he said finally. "What about you?" "I'll keep watch." She lay down on the bed, fully clothed, and closed her eyes, but she couldn't sleep. Every sound from outside made her jump. Every shadow seemed to hide a threat. What she didn't know was that 3 miles away, a computer was processing the images from the parking lot camera. Facial recognition software was matching her face to a database of known associates. What she didn't know was that the bounty on Cole's head had just doubled. What she didn't know was that her face was now on the same list. What she didn't know was that by morning, every criminal in 3 states would be looking for them. What she didn't know was that they'd just become the most hunted people in the county. But she would find out soon enough. Chapter 6. Motel Confessions. Juliette woke to the sound of rain against the window. For a moment she forgot where she was. Then she saw Cole sitting in the chair by the door, gun across his lap, and everything came flooding back. "What time is it?" she asked. "Almost dawn. You should try to sleep more." "Can't. Too wired." She sat up, running her hands through her hair. "Did you sleep at all?" "Someone needs to keep watch." "Cole, you can't stay awake forever." "I can try." She looked at him in the dim light filtering through the curtains. His face was haggard, exhausted. Dark circles under his eyes made him look older than his 25 years. "Come here," she said. "I'm fine where I am." "You're dead on your feet. Come lie down for a few hours." "Jules, I'm not asking you to sleep. I'm asking you to rest. There's a difference." Cole hesitated, then moved to the bed. He lay down on top of the covers, still fully clothed, the gun within easy reach. "Better?" she asked. "Yeah." But she could feel the tension in his body, the way he held himself rigid like he was ready to spring into action at any moment. "Talk to me," she said. "About what?" "Anything. Something to pass the time." "I'm not much of a talker." "You used to be." "With me?" Cole was quiet for a long moment. Then, "That was a long time ago." "Not so long." "Long enough." The silence stretched between them. Outside, the rain continued to fall, drumming against the window like fingers tapping. "I used to dream about you." "Jules." "After I left, for years, I dreamed that you came after me, that you found me in the city and we ran away together. I thought about it, coming after you."
Why didn't you? Because you were better off without me. Because you had a chance at a real life. And what if I didn't want a real life? What if I wanted you? You were 17. You didn't know what you wanted. I knew I wanted you. You wanted the idea of me, the bad boy, the rebel, the excitement. No. She turned on her side to face him. I wanted the boy who brought me flowers he'd stolen from the cemetery. I wanted the boy who taught me to ride a motorcycle. I wanted the boy who held me when I cried about my mother being sick. That boy was a lie. Was he? Because that's the boy I fell in love with. Not the leather jacket or the attitude. Just you. Cole's jaw tightened. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I? I know you used to read poetry. I know you were afraid of spiders. I know you cried when your dog died. Stop. I know you were gentle with me. Always so gentle, even when I wanted you to be rough. Jules, please. I know you loved me. Really loved me. Not just wanted me. Loved me. Of course I loved you. That was never the question. Then why did you let me go? Because I had to? Because you deserved better. Better than what? Better than being pregnant at 17? Better than being tied to a criminal? Better than watching your life fall apart because of me? The words hit her like a physical blow. She sat up, staring at him. What did you say? Cole's face went white. I didn't mean... You knew. You knew I was pregnant. Jules, how? How did you know? Cole sat up too, running his hands through his hair. Your friend Sarah, she told me. Sarah told you? She was worried about you. Said you'd been sick, missing school, said you'd been asking questions about clinics in the city, and you just, what, decided for me? I decided to let you go, to let you choose what you wanted to do without me pressuring you. Without you pressuring me, you think I left because I didn't want the baby? Didn't you? I left because I was scared. I was 17 years old and pregnant and terrified, and the one person I needed most in the world was acting like I didn't exist. What? You stopped talking to me, stopped meeting me, stopped looking at me in school? I thought you didn't want me anymore. God, Jules, no, I was trying to give you space. I was trying to let you make your own decision. I was trying to figure out how to tell you. I was trying to work up the courage to tell you I was carrying your baby. And instead you left. Instead, I left. I took the money I'd saved for college and went to the city. I was going to get an apartment, have the baby, and maybe call you when I figured things out. What happened? The question hung in the air between them. Juliette closed her eyes, remembering. I lost the baby, she said quietly. 2 weeks after I got to Dallas. I was working at a diner, trying to save money. I collapsed during my shift. Started bleeding. They rushed me to the hospital, but it was too late. Jules, Cole's voice was broken. I'm so sorry. The doctor said it was a miscarriage. Said it happens sometimes. Said it wasn't my fault. It wasn't your fault. Wasn't it? I was alone. I was scared. I was working too much, not eating enough. Maybe if I'd stayed. No, don't do that to yourself. Maybe if I'd told you. Maybe if we'd faced it together. It wouldn't have changed anything. It would have changed everything. We would have grieved together. We would have healed together. We would have been two kids trying to raise a baby with no money and no future. We would have been a family. Cole's hands were shaking. God, Jules, I didn't know. I wanted to call you after. I wanted to tell you what happened, but I was so ashamed. Ashamed of what? Of losing our baby. Of failing at the one thing I was supposed to be able to do. You didn't fail. You were just a kid. I was a kid who lost the only piece of you I had left. Cole reached for her then, pulling her against his chest. He could feel his heart racing, feel the wetness of tears on his cheek. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "I'm so sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. I would have come. If I'd known, I would have come. I know you would have." They held each other in the dim light of the motel room, both of them crying for the baby they'd lost, for the life they'd never had, for the years they'd wasted apart. "I never forgot you," Cole said finally. "Neither did I. I tried to move on, tried to be with other people, but it was always you. Always you." He pulled back to look at her, his hands framing her face. "I love you, Jules. I never stopped loving you. I love you too. Even after everything, even knowing what I am, you're not what you think you are. You're not what this town says you are. You're the man who held me when I cried. You're the man who would have come from me if I'd asked. I'm a criminal. You're a man who's been trying to survive in a world that didn't give you many choices. I've done things. We've all done things. I've helped guilty people go free. I've bent the law to serve my clients. I've made compromises I'm not proud of. It's not the same, isn't it? We're both trying to make sense of a world that doesn't make sense. We're both trying to find our way." Cole's thumb traced her cheek. "I wanted to be better for you. I wanted to be the kind of man you deserved. You are. You are the kind of man I deserve. Jules." She silenced him with a kiss. Soft first, tentative like they were teenagers again, but then the years of longing took over, and it became something desperate, hungry. Cole's hands tangled in her hair. "We shouldn't." "Why not?" "Because this is crazy, because we're on the run, because people are trying to kill us. Because we might not have another chance. Jules, I don't want to wait anymore. I don't want to waste any more time." She kissed him again, deeper this time, pouring all her love and longing into it. Cole groaned against her lips, his control finally breaking. "Are you sure?" he asked. "I've never been more sure of anything." They made love slowly, carefully, like they were afraid the other might disappear. Every touch was reverent, every kiss a promise. This wasn't the desperate fumbling of teenagers. This was the love of two people who had found each other again against all odds. Afterward they lay tangled together, skin against skin, hearts beating in rhythm. "I've missed this," Juliette said. "I've missed you. I'm here now." "Are you? Or are you going to disappear again when this is over?" "I don't know what happens when this is over. I don't know if there is an over. There will be. We'll make sure of it. And then what? You go back to your fancy law practice, and I go back to my life on the road? Or we find a new way forward together. You'd give up your career for me? I'd give up everything for you. But I'm not sure I'll have to. There are ways to make this work." "Like what?" "Like witness protection, like plea bargains, like second chances."
You think it's that simple? I think love is worth fighting for. I think we're worth fighting for. Cole pulled her closer. What if we don't make it out of this? Then we face it together. No more running, no more hiding, no more lies. No more lies. Whatever happens, we face it together. Together. They fell asleep as the sun was coming up, wrapped in each other's arms, finally at peace for the first time in years. But peace was a luxury they couldn't afford for long, because outside, the world was waking up, and with it, the people who wanted them dead. The hunt was about to begin in earnest. But for now, for this moment, they had each other, and that was enough.
Chapter 7. The Devil's Deal. Juliette woke to the sound of Cole's phone buzzing.
Sunlight streamed through the thin curtains, and she could hear traffic on the highway. For a moment, she forgot where they were, forgot the danger. She only remembered the feel of Cole's arms around her, the taste of his kiss. Then reality crashed back. "Who is it?" she asked as Cole checked his phone. "Unknown number," he answered warily. "Yeah?" His face went white as he listened. "When? Are you sure?" He hung up and turned to her. "We need to go. Now." "What happened?" "That was Jimmy Santos. He's a guy who works at the hospital. Your father's been asking for you." "That's good news, right? He's getting better." "He's been asking for you because he's dying, Jules. The stroke did more damage than they thought. He's got maybe hours left." The words hit her like ice water. No, the doctors said he was stable." "The doctors lied, or someone paid them to lie." "I have to go to him." "It's a trap. They're using your father as bait." "I don't care. He's my father." Cole grabbed her shoulders. "Jules, listen to me. The moment you walk into that hospital, you're dead. They'll be waiting." "Then I'll die. But I won't let him die alone." "What about us? What about what we found last night?" "What about it? My father is dying, Cole. Nothing else matters." "Everything else matters. If we die, no one will know the truth about Marcus, about Tommy, about any of it." She pulled away from him. "I can't think about that right now." "You have to think about it, because if you don't, they win." "They've already won. Don't you see? They've taken everything from me. My brother, my mother, my father. They've taken my whole family." "They haven't taken me. Yet." Cole was quiet for a moment. Then, "There's another way." "What?" "I turn myself in. I confess to Tommy's murder. I give them what they want." "You're innocent." "Innocent people die every day. At least this way you live." No, I won't let you do that." "It's not your choice." "Like hell it isn't. We're in this together, remember? That's what we said." "That was before your father." "Nothing's changed. We stick to the plan. We find the truth, we expose it, we make them pay." "And if your father dies while we are playing detective?" The question hung in the air between them. Juliette closed her eyes, feeling the weight of impossible choices. "Get dressed," she said finally. "We're going to the hospital." "Jules." "We're going, but we're going smart. We're going prepared." "What do you mean?" "I mean, we're going to walk into their trap, but we're going to be ready for it." They dressed quickly, Cole checking his gun, Juliette trying to think like a lawyer instead of a grieving daughter. "Tell me about the hospital. Security, exits, blind spots." "Why?" "Because I need to know how to get out alive." Cole studied her face. "You're planning something." "I'm planning to see my father." "And?" "And I'm planning to end this." "How?" "I don't know yet, but I'll figure it out." They rode to the hospital in silence, both lost in their own thoughts. The parking lot was crowded with cars, normal people going about their normal lives, people who didn't know that two fugitives were walking among them. "Third floor, room 312, ICU, limited access." "How do we get in?" "We don't. I go in alone." "Cole." "No. This is where I draw the line. I'm not letting you walk into that trap." "You think I'm going to let you walk into it instead?" "I'm expendable. You're not." "You're not expendable to me." "Jules, please, let me do this one thing right." She looked at him, seeing the determination in his eyes, the man who'd spent his whole life believing he was worthless, finally ready to sacrifice himself for something good. "Okay," she said finally. "Okay?" "Go see my father. Tell him I love him. Tell him I'm sorry I wasn't there when he needed me. You can tell him yourself when this is over." "Can I?" "Yeah, you can." Cole kissed her, hard and desperate, like he was trying to memorize the taste of her lips. Then he walked away,
disappearing into the crowd of people entering the hospital. She waited 5 minutes, then followed. The ICU was on the 3rd floor, just like Cole had said. She took the elevator, her heart pounding with every floor they passed. When the doors opened, she saw him immediately. Cole was talking to a nurse at the main desk, his back to her. The nurse was nodding, pointing down the hall. He was getting access to her father's room. But he wasn't alone. 2 men in suits were waiting by the elevator, hospital security badges, but their eyes were too hard, too cold. They watched Cole like predators watching prey. And in the hallway beyond, she could see more of them, men who didn't belong in a hospital, positioned at strategic points. It was a trap, just like Cole had said. But they weren't just here for him, they were here for her too, and they were going to use her father as bait to get them both. She turned and walked back to the elevator, her mind racing. She had to warn Cole, had to get him out of there before... Going somewhere? She turned to find Viper standing behind her, flanked by 2 of his men. "I'm visiting my father." "No, you're not. You're coming with me." "I don't think so." "I wasn't asking." One of his men stepped forward, and she saw the gun hidden under his jacket. "What do you want?" "I want to make a deal." "What kind of deal?" "The kind that keeps your boyfriend alive." She looked back toward the ICU, where Cole was walking down the hall towards his father's room, toward the trap that was waiting for him. "I'm listening." "There's a coffee shop across the street. We talk there, just you and me." "And if I refuse?" "Then your boyfriend dies in the next 5 minutes, and so does your father." "You're threatening to kill a dying man." "I'm threatening to kill everyone you care about, unless you do what I say." She looked at Cole one more time, saw him disappear into room 312. Then she turned back to Viper. "Lead the way." The coffee shop was nearly empty, just a few college students with laptops and a businessman reading the paper. Viper chose a table in the back corner, away from the windows. "Talk." "Your boyfriend killed one of my men." "Tommy wasn't one of your men. He was trying to get out." "He was trying to betray us. To the cops, to the feds, to anyone who would listen." "Because you were using him, all of you." "We were giving him opportunities, chances to make money for his family." "You were using him to commit crimes. Crimes that needed to be committed, problems that needed to be solved." "Whose problems?" Viper smiled. "That's not your concern." "It is if you want to make a deal." "Fine. Important people, people who matter, people who pay well for discretion." "Like who?" "Like your father's friend, the deacon." "Williams is behind this?" "Williams is a middleman, a facilitator. He connects people who have problems with people who solve problems." "And you're the people who solve problems?" "We're the people who do what needs to be done." "By killing people?" "By maintaining order, by keeping secrets, by making sure the wrong people don't talk to the wrong cops." "Like Tommy." "Like Tommy, like your brother, like you if you don't cooperate." "What do you want?" "I want your boyfriend to confess to Tommy's murder, to your brother's murder, to everything." "He didn't kill anyone." "Doesn't matter. He's convenient, he's expendable, he's the perfect scapegoat." "And if he confesses?" "Then he gets a quick death instead of a slow one, and you get to live." "What's to stop you from killing me anyway?" "Nothing, but I give you my word." "The word of a criminal." "The word of a man who understands the value of keeping his promises." Juliette stared at him across the table. "And if I refuse?" "Then he dies slow, and you watch, and then you die." "There's a third option." "Is there?" "I take his place. I confess to the murders. I take the blame. I free him from this mess." "And why would you do that?" "Because I love him. Because he's innocent. Because I'm tired of running." "You're a lawyer. You know the system. You know how to work it."
I know how to make a confession stick. I know how to make it look real. And in exchange, you let Cole go. You stop hunting him. You let him disappear. And you? I take whatever's coming to me." Viper leaned back in his chair, studying her. "You'd sacrifice yourself for him, without hesitation. Even though he's a criminal? Even though he's everything your father preached against? Especially because of that. Why? Because he's the only thing in this world that's ever been truly mine. Because he's the only person who's ever loved me for who I am, not who I'm supposed to be. And you think that's enough? I think it's everything."
Viper was quiet for a long moment. Then he smiled. "I like you, Miss Monroe. You've got steel in your spine. Do we have a deal?" "We have a deal. But there are conditions." "Name them." "The confession has to be public, has to be detailed, has to implicate the right people and exonerate the right people." "Fine." "And your boyfriend can't know. He has to think he's saving you, not the other way around." "Why?" "Because if he knows, he'll try to stop you. And then we're back to square one." "How do I know you'll keep your word?" "You don't, but you don't have a choice." He was right. She didn't have a choice. Cole was walking into a trap, and this was the only way to save him. "When?" she asked. "Tonight, midnight, the old warehouse on Elm Street. You come alone, you make your confession, you sign the papers, then your boyfriend walks free. And if I don't show? Then he dies at 12:01. Viper stood up, leaving money on the table. "It's been a pleasure doing business with you, Miss Monroe." "The pleasure's all yours." "Indeed it is." He walked away, leaving her alone with her thoughts and her impossible choice. She had 8 hours to figure out how to save Cole without getting them both killed. 8 hours to find a way to beat the devil at his own game. 8 hours to prove that love was stronger than fear. She finished her coffee and walked back to the hospital, her mind already working on a plan. The devil wanted to make a deal. Fine, she'd make a deal. But she'd make it on her terms. And she'd make sure that when the smoke cleared, Cole would be free, even if it cost her everything.
Chapter 8. Sacrifice and Smoke. At 11:45 p.m., Juliette stood in the shadows outside the old warehouse on Elm Street, watching for signs of movement. The building had been abandoned for years, broken windows like dead eyes staring out at the empty lot. She'd spent the afternoon writing her confession, making sure every detail was perfect, every lie that would free Cole, every truth that would damn her. It was the most important legal document she'd ever written, and it would be her last. The warehouse door creaked open, and Viper stepped out, flanked by 3 of his men. "Ms. Monroe, right on time. Let's get this over with." "Eager to die? I admire that in a person." "I'm eager to save the man I love." "Noble. Stupid, but noble." They walked into the warehouse, their footsteps echoing in the vast, empty space. Dust motes danced in the pale moonlight streaming through the broken windows. "You have the confession?" Viper asked. She pulled out the folded papers. "Everything you asked for. Detailed confession to Tommy's murder, detailed confession to Marcus's murder, exoneration of Cole Maddox." "And the signature?" "Witnessed and notarized this afternoon." "By whom?" "A notary public in the next county, someone who doesn't know me from Adam." Viper took the papers and scanned them.
Very thorough, very professional. I'm a lawyer. I know how to build a case. Even against yourself? Especially against myself. And what about your boyfriend? What's he going to think when he finds out you're dead? He's going to think I died trying to protect him. He's going to think I was brave. And you're okay with that? I'm okay with him being alive. Viper folded the papers and put them in his jacket. You know, I almost believe you didn't kill Tommy. I didn't kill Tommy. But you did kill someone, didn't you? I can see it in your eyes. She was quiet for a moment. I killed the girl I used to be. The girl who believed in fairy tales and happy endings. And what are you now? I'm a woman who knows what matters, and what matters is love. Love, Viper laughed. You think love is going to save you? I think love already has. Has it? Because from where I'm standing, you're about to die alone in a warehouse for a man who doesn't even know you're here. I'm not alone. No? I don't see anyone else. I'm not alone because I'm carrying his love with me, and that's enough. Viper studied her face. You really believe that? I know that. Then you're ready to die. I've been ready to die since the moment I chose to love him. Viper nodded to his men. They stepped forward, hands on their weapons. Any last words? Yeah, go to hell. After you. The sound of shattering glass echoed through the warehouse. Then gunshots, rapid and angry. What the hell? Viper spun around. Cole burst through the side door, gun blazing. Get away from her! Cole, no! Juliette screamed. But it was too late. The warehouse erupted in chaos. Viper's men scattered, taking cover behind old machinery and concrete pillars. Cole dove behind a shipping container, bullets sparking off the metal around him. You son of a bitch! Cole shouted. You want me? Here I am. Cole, how did you? Juliette started. Jimmy Santos. He told me about your little coffee date. Told me what you were planning. You were supposed to be safe. I was supposed to let you die for me? Like hell! A bullet whined past her ear and she dropped to the ground. The warehouse had become a war zone, gunfire echoing off the walls, muzzle flashes lighting up the darkness. This is touching, Viper called out, but it doesn't change anything. You're both dead. We'll see about that. Cole popped up from behind the container, returning fire. One of Viper's men cried out and fell. Another dove for better cover. Jules, can you get to the door? Cole shouted. Not without you. Damn it, Jules, just go. I'm not leaving you. She crawled toward his position, staying low as bullets flew overhead. A piece of concrete exploded near her face, stinging her cheek with shrapnel. Why did you come here? She gasped when she reached him. Because I love you. Because I'm tired of running. Because I'd rather die fighting than live as a coward. This is insane. Yeah, it is, but it's our insanity. He leaned around the container and fired again. The sound was deafening in the enclosed space. How many bullets do you have? She asked. Not enough. What's the plan? Try not to die. That's not a plan. It's the only plan I've got. A new voice cut through the chaos. Drop your weapons. Police. Everyone froze. Through the broken windows, Juliette could see red and blue lights flashing outside. Shit, Viper muttered. Someone called the cops. Surrender now and nobody else has to die, the voice called out. Like hell, one of Viper's men snarled. He raised his gun toward the window. Don't, Juliette screamed. But it was too late. The man fired at the police lights. The response was immediate and overwhelming. The warehouse windows exploded inward as police returned fire. In the chaos, Viper made his move. He rushed toward Juliette, gun raised. If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. Cole saw him coming. Without hesitation, he threw himself between them, taking the bullet meant for her. Cole! Juliette screamed as he fell. Blood bloomed across his chest. He hit the ground hard, his gun skittering across the concrete.
No, 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 she crawled to him, pressing her hands against the wound. Stay with me. Please stay with me. Jules, his voice was weak, bubbling with blood. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't you dare apologize to me. Don't you dare. I couldn't let you die for me. I couldn't live with that. You're not going to die. You're going to be fine. I love you. I need you to know that. I know. I love you too. The gunfire was dying down. Police were shouting orders, moving through the warehouse. But all Juliette could see was Cole's blood on her hands. Help! Help! She screamed. Somebody help us! Jules! A familiar voice made her look up. A man stepped out of the shadows, badge glinting on his chest. Tall, gray-haired, with kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. Sheriff Davidson? She couldn't believe it. What are you doing here? My job. Finally. Sheriff Davidson had been Cole's mentor when he was younger, before everything went wrong. He'd tried to keep Cole on the straight and narrow, but the streets had been stronger than his influence. How did you... Here. I've been watching, waiting, gathering evidence. Your friend Martinez wasn't the only one investigating this mess. Martinez is dead. I know, and I'm sorry about that. But his death gave me the last piece I needed. What piece? The connection between Williams and the police corruption, the money trail, the whole damn conspiracy. Paramedics rushed in, pushing her aside to work on Cole. She watched helplessly as they cut away his shirt, revealing the ugly wound in his chest. Is he going to make it? Ma'am, we need to get him to a hospital right now. They loaded Cole onto a stretcher, and she followed them outside. The parking lot was full of police cars, ambulances, news vans. The whole town had turned out to watch. Ms. Monroe, Sheriff Davidson touched her shoulder. I need to ask you some questions. Later, I need to go with him. I know, but first, I need you to know something. Your confession, the one you wrote, it's not going to hold up in court. What do you mean? I mean, we have the real killer. Williams talked, gave up everything, names, dates, bank accounts, the whole operation. Williams confessed? Williams is dead, shot himself in his cell 3 hours ago, but not before he wrote his own confession, the real one. She stared at him. You mean, I mean, you're free, both of you. The charges against Cole are being dropped. The case is closed. How is that possible? Because Williams wasn't working alone. He was part of a bigger network. Drug dealers, corrupt cops, politicians. They've been using the motorcycle club as their enforcement arm for years. And now? Now, they're all going down. Every last one of them. The ambulance door slammed shut, and she climbed in beside Cole. As they raced toward the hospital, she held his hand and whispered prayers to a God she'd stopped believing in years ago. Hang on. Please hang on. We're free. We're finally free. But freedom didn't mean much if she lost him. The sirens wailed through the night, carrying them toward an uncertain future. But for the first time in years, it was a future they might actually get to share. If Cole survived. If love was enough. If miracles still happened in places like this. I love you, she whispered again. And somewhere in the darkness, she thought she heard him whisper back.
Chapter 9. Redemption Ride. 3 weeks later, Juliette sat beside Cole's hospital bed, watching him sleep. The bullet had missed his heart by inches, but the damage had been severe. Collapsed lung, internal bleeding, weeks of touch-and-go recovery. But he was alive, and that was all that mattered. You know, staring at me won't make me heal faster, he said, without opening his eyes. How long have you been awake? Long enough to know you haven't left this chair in 6 hours. I needed to make sure you were okay. I'm okay, sore as hell, but okay. Cole opened his eyes and looked at her. The color was back in his face, the strength returning to his voice. He was going to make it. Any news from the outside world? Sheriff Davidson arrested 12 people yesterday. 3 county commissioners, 5 police officers, and 4 business owners. The whole network is collapsing. Good. William's confession filled in the gaps. He'd been running the operation for years, using the church as a front to launder money from drug sales and contract killings. And the club? Most of them are cooperating. Plea deals, reduced sentences. They were victims too, in a way. What about Viper? Dead. Shot during the raid. He chose to go down fighting. He would have. It's what he knew. Is that what you would have chosen, if things had gone differently? Maybe. Before. But not now. Why not now? Because I have something to live for now. He reached for her hand, and she took it, marveling at how right it felt. You know, the FBI wants to debrief me about the jobs we did, the people we worked for. They think there might be more networks in other towns. Will you do it? Yeah, it's time to clean house. And after that? I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. Well, you'd better start thinking, because Agent Morrison is coming to see you this afternoon. FBI? Justice Department. He has an offer for you. What kind of offer? The kind that comes with immunity and a clean slate. Cole's eyes narrowed. What's the catch? You have to leave. Forever. New identity, new life, new everything. No contact with anyone from your old life. Including you? Including me. They sat in silence for a long moment. Through the window, Juliette could see the town where they'd grown up, where they'd fallen in love, where they'd lost everything and found it again. It's a good deal, she said finally. A chance to start over. Is it? Or is it just another kind of prison? It's freedom, Cole. Real freedom. Freedom from what? From you? From the only thing that's ever mattered to me? From the past, from the mistakes, from the danger. The danger's over. Williams is dead. The network is broken. But the memories aren't. The reputation isn't. You'll always be the devil in this town. And you'll always be the preacher's daughter who fell for the wrong guy. Maybe it's time for both of us to become someone else. Cole studied her face. You want me to take the deal. I want you to be safe. I want you to be happy. I want you to have a life worth living. And you think I can't have that here? I think you'll always be looking over your shoulder here. I think you'll always be waiting for the next crisis, the next threat, the next tragedy. And I think I can just walk away, leave you behind, and start over like none of this happened? I think you're strong enough to do whatever it takes to survive. I survived for 7 years without you. I don't want to survive anymore. I want to live. Then live. Take the deal and live. Not without you. Cole! No. I'm done running. I'm done hiding. I'm done letting other people decide my fate. This isn't about other people. This is about you having a chance at a normal life. I don't want a normal life. I want a life with you. Even if it's dangerous, even if it's complicated? Especially if it's dangerous and complicated. That's what makes it worth living. The door opened and Agent Morrison walked in. Tall, serious, with the kind of face that had seen too much and believed too little. Mr. Maddox, Ms. Monroe, I hope I'm not interrupting. Not at all, Juliette said. Cole was just telling me about his decision. And what decision is that? Cole looked at her, then at the agent. I'm turning down your offer. Mr. Maddox, I think you should reconsider. This is a generous deal. Complete immunity, full protection, a chance to start over. In exchange for giving up everything that matters to me? In exchange for staying alive? I've been alive for 25 years. I've only been living for the last few weeks. Since you're reunited with Ms. Monroe. Since I stopped running from who I am. Agent Morrison sat down in the chair across from them. Mr. Maddox, I understand your feelings, but you need to understand the reality of your situation. What reality is that? The reality that there are still people out there who want you dead. The network we broke was just one tentacle of a much larger organization. When word gets out that you're cooperating with federal authorities, you'll have a target on your back. I've had a target on my back since I was 15. I'm still here. And how long do you think that luck will last? As long as it needs to. What about Miss Monroe? Are you willing to put her in danger too? Cole looked at her, and she saw the doubt creeping into his eyes. Jules, I'm a big girl, Cole. I can take care of myself. Can you? Can you take care of yourself when they come for you in the middle of the night? When they use you to get to him? They can try. They will try. And they'll keep trying until they succeed. Then we'll deal with it, together. Agent Morrison shook his head. Ms. Monroe, with respect, you don't understand what you're up against. These people don't play by rules. They don't care about your legal training or your connections. They care about sending a message. What message? That nobody crosses them and lives to tell about it. Well, here's a message for them. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not hiding. I'm not running. If they want me, they can come and get me. And when they do, then I'll be ready. Will you? Will you be ready to watch the woman you love die because of your pride? The words hit like a physical blow. Cole's face went white. That's not going to happen, he said. It's exactly what's going to happen, unless you take the deal. Cole looked at Juliette, and she saw the war raging in his eyes. Love versus logic, pride versus protection. Take the deal, she said quietly. Jules, take the deal, Cole, please. I can't. I can't leave you. You can. You have to. Why? Because I love you too much to watch you die for me, and I love you too much to live without you. Then we're at an impasse. Agent Morrison cleared his throat. There is another option. They both looked at him. What option? The offer extends to Ms. Monroe as well. If she's willing to leave her life behind to disappear completely, she can come with you. What? Juliette stared at him. New identities for both of you. New lives, new everything. But you both have to agree, and you both have to understand that there's no going back. I can't do that. My father... Your father is recovering well. He'll be fine without you. My career... Your career is helping criminals escape justice. Is that what you want to do with your life? I help people. You help people who can afford your services. There are people who need help who can't afford lawyers like you. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that there are legal aid programs in other cities, programs that could use someone with your skills and your passion for justice. You're asking me to give up everything. I'm asking you to choose what matters most. Juliette looked at Cole, and she saw the hope in his eyes, the desperate, fragile hope of a man who'd never dared to dream of a real future. What about my father? He'd be told that you died in the warehouse, that you were killed trying to save Mr. Maddox. He'd grieve for me. He'd grieve for you anyway if you stay and get killed for real. This is insane. This is survival. This is the only way you both get to live. And if we refuse, then you stay here and you wait for them to come for you. And when they do, you both die. And your father grieves anyway. The silence stretched between them. Outside, the sun was setting, painting the sky blood red. I need time to think, Juliette said. You have until tomorrow morning. The offer expires at noon. Agent Morrison stood up. I'll leave you two to discuss it. But Ms. Monroe, don't let pride kill the man you love. And Mr. Maddox, don't let love kill the woman you're trying to protect. He left them alone with their impossible choice. What are you thinking? Cole asked. I'm thinking this is crazy. I'm thinking we're talking about disappearing forever, about becoming different people. We're already different people. We're not the same kids we were 7 years ago. No, but we're still us, still connected to this place, to these people. To what people? Your brother's dead, your mother's dead.
Your father will be better off without the constant reminder of his failures. What about your life? Your friends? My friends are dead or in prison. My life is a series of mistakes and regrets. Not all of it. No, not all of it. The part with you is perfect. That's the part I want to keep. Even if it means running forever? Even if it means running forever. She looked at him, this man who'd been her first love, her greatest heartbreak, her second chance at happiness. Okay, she said. Okay? Okay, let's do it. Let's disappear. Are you sure? I'm sure. I'm tired of living in the past. I'm ready to build a future. With me? With you. Cole pulled her down to him, kissing her with all the desperation and hope and love of a man who'd been given a miracle. I love you, he whispered against her lips. I love you too. No matter what happens, no matter where we go, I'll always love you. I know. I know. They held each other as the sun set outside, marking the end of one life and the beginning of another. Tomorrow, they would disappear. Tomorrow, they would become new people. Tomorrow, they would start over. But tonight, they were still Cole and Juliette, still the preacher's daughter and the devil who'd stolen her heart. And that was enough. For now, it was enough.
Chapter 10, The Last Ride. 6 months later, Portland, Oregon. Juliette, now Sarah Collins, locked the door to the Mountain View Legal Aid Society and stepped into the cool evening air. It had been a long day, but a good one. She helped a single mother keep her apartment, gotten charges dropped for a teenager caught with marijuana, and convinced a landlord to make repairs to substandard housing. It wasn't the high-powered corporate law she'd practiced in Dallas, but it was real. It mattered. It helped people who actually needed help. She walked to her car, a modest Honda that was a far cry from her old Mercedes. Everything about her life was different now. Smaller apartment, simpler clothes, a job that paid a fraction of what she used to make. But she was happy. For the first time in years, she was genuinely happy. The only thing missing was Cole. They'd been separated immediately after agreeing to the deal. Different safe houses, different handlers, different new identities. Agent Morrison had explained that it was safer that way. If one of them was discovered, the other would still be protected. "When will I see him again?" she'd asked. "When it's safe, when your new lives are established, when there's no chance of the old connections being traced." "How long?" 6 months, maybe longer. 6 months had felt like a lifetime, but she'd used the time well. Learned to be Sarah Collins, public defender. Learned to live quietly, carefully, without drawing attention. She'd learned to grieve for her father, who'd been told she was dead. According to the report she'd received, he'd recovered from his stroke, but had stepped down from his position at the church. Too much shame, too much guilt over his role in covering up the corruption. She hoped he was at peace. She hoped he understood that she'd made her choice out of love, not disappointment. Her phone buzzed as she reached her car. A text from an unknown number. "Check your apartment. You have a delivery." Her blood ran cold. After 6 months of looking over her shoulder, her first instinct was fear. Someone had found her. Someone knew where she lived. She called her handler, a no-nonsense woman named Agent Torres. "I got a text. Someone knows where I live." "What did it say?" She read the message. "Sit tight. I'll send someone to check it out." What if it's them? What if— Sarah, breathe. You're safe. Nobody knows where you are. But as she drove home, she couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change. Her apartment was on the 3rd floor of a converted warehouse in the Arts District. Nothing fancy, but it was hers. She'd furnished it with second-hand pieces, painted the walls herself, made it into a home. She climbed the stairs slowly, keys ready, listening for any sound that didn't belong. The hallway was quiet. Her door was still locked, no signs of forced entry. But there was something on the floor in front of her door. A key. Not her key. This one was different, newer, attached to a keychain with a small metal motorcycle. Her heart started racing. She picked up the key, turned it over in her hands. There was an address engraved on the back. 1247 Riverside, Apt 4B. She'd never heard of that address. But she knew who'd left the key. The drive to Riverside took 20 minutes through downtown Portland. Her hands were shaking as she parked outside the building, a modern complex with a view of the river. Apartment 4B was on the 4th floor. She stood outside the door for a long moment, key in her hand, heart pounding. But then she heard it, the low rumble of a motorcycle engine coming from inside the apartment. She smiled despite herself. Only Cole would rev a motorcycle in his living room. She used the key and stepped inside. The apartment was beautiful. Hardwood floors, exposed brick walls, huge windows overlooking the river. And in the middle of it all, Cole sat on a brand-new Harley-Davidson, grinning like a teenager. "You're late." "I'm careful." "Good. I like careful." She looked at him, really looked at him. He was different, cleaner. His hair was shorter, more styled. He wore dark jeans and a button-down shirt instead of leather and denim. He looked like a man who'd learned to live in the world instead of hiding from it. "You look good." "You look better." "How long have you been here?" 3 days. I wanted to make sure everything was perfect." "Everything?" He gestured around the apartment. "I got us a place. 2 bedrooms, in case you need space, but I'm hoping you won't." "Cole?" I know I should have called first. Should have asked, but I wanted to surprise you." "You did? But how'd you find me?" "I've been tracking you for weeks. Not in a creepy way," he added quickly. "I just needed to make sure you were safe, happy." "Are you insane? If they find out you broke protocol—" "They won't find out. And even if they do, I don't care." "You don't care?" "I care about you. I care about us. I care about building a life together." "What about staying hidden? What about the danger?" "The danger is over, Jules, Sarah, whatever you want to be called." "How can you know that?" "Because I've been working with the FBI for months, helping them track down the rest of the network. The last cell was broken up 2 weeks ago. The last of Williams' associates was arrested yesterday." "You're sure?" "I'm sure. We're free, really free." She moved toward him, drawn by the certainty in his voice. "What have you been doing all this time?" "Learning to be a normal person. Got my GED, took some business classes, even learned how to use a computer." "A computer?" "I got a job, security consulting, helping businesses protect themselves from the kind of people I used to be." "Poacher turned gamekeeper?" "Something like that. Turns out there's good money in teaching people how to spot trouble before it finds them." "And you like it?" "I love it. For the first time in my life, I'm using my skills to help people instead of hurt them." "I'm proud of you." "Are you? Are you proud enough to try building a life with me?" She reached out and touched his face, feeling the familiar electricity that had always existed between them. "Yes," she said. "Yes, I am." "Even though I'm still trouble?" "Especially because you're still trouble." He got off the motorcycle and pulled her into his arms. I missed you. Every day, every night, I missed you. I missed you too. No more running, no more hiding, no more secrets. No more secrets. Just us. Just us. He kissed her then, slow and sweet and full of promise. When they broke apart, she was breathless. I have something for you. What? He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Cole, I know it's crazy. I know we're still figuring everything out, but I also know that I love you. I've loved you since I was 17, and I'm going to love you until the day I die. He opened the box, revealing a simple diamond ring. Nothing flashy, nothing expensive, just perfect. Will you marry me, Jules? Will you be my wife? Yes, she said without hesitation. Yes, I'll marry you. He slipped the ring onto her finger, and it fit perfectly. How did you know my size? I've been planning this for months. I know everything about you. Everything? Everything that matters. We stood there in the middle of our new apartment, holding each other, planning our future. What happens now? She asked. Now we live, we get married, we build a life together, we help people, we make a difference. And if the past comes back to haunt us, then we face it together. But I don't think it will. I think we finally outrun it. I hope you're right. I know I'm right, because I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago, and neither are you. Who are we now? We're the people we always could have been, if we'd been brave enough to fight for it. And are we? Brave enough? We're about to find out. Cole walked over to the motorcycle and started it up. The engine roared to life, filling the apartment with sound and power. Want to go for a ride? He asked. Where? Anywhere. Everywhere. It doesn't matter as long as we're together. She looked at him, this man who'd been her first love, her greatest heartbreak, her second chance at happiness. This man who'd followed her across the country, who changed his whole life to build a future with her. Okay, she said. Let's ride. They walked to the elevator together, Cole pushing the motorcycle, Juliette carrying her helmet. When they reached the street, he climbed on first, then helped her up behind him. Ready? Ready. They pulled out into traffic, heading west toward the setting sun. The city flew by in a blur.
Shout out to all our amazing listeners. Thank you for tuning in and being part of our Storytime audiobook journey. Your support means the world, and every listen, like, and comment helps keep this channel alive and growing. If you're enjoying the stories, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new episode. Got thoughts or favorite moments? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. It keeps the creative fire burning. Want to take it a step further? Join our growing community. Your encouragement fuels every chapter, every voiceover, and every late-night writing session. Let's grow together and keep bringing these stories to life. Thank you for being here. You're truly part of the story. Books, love.